Okay.
What Trump said.
Trump is now saying that Ukraine President Zelensky has to leave.
Why?
Trump says that Zelensky doesn't want peace, that Zelensky wants the war to go on forever.
That's bullshit.
And so Trump is saying that Zelensky has to go so that Trump can work out a deal with Russia to end the war. Of course, that deal ends with Ukraine losing half of its territory to Russia, with no guarantee that Russia won't take the other half in another 3 years.
Yeah, nobody can do that since Zelensky is to protect his country.
Of course.
His people.
Of course, Ukraine was invaded. Ukraine did not start the war. Ukraine was invaded by a foreign military.
Yeah.
There's no rational reason that Ukraine has to give up anything in order for the Russians to simply remove their army.
Yeah.
Trump is also saying that Putin wants peace. Trump is saying that he talked to Putin and he knows that Putin wants peace. Well, all Putin has to do to get peace is to remove his army from Ukraine.
It's terrible. It's
But
stupid.
Trump says that's ridiculous. He should get concessions. He should get things from Ukraine in order to remove his army from Ukraine.
He think he's the one can stop everything.
Right.
Everybody can follow him,
Right.
but nobody.
Right. It's bizarre. Just utterly bizarre.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
What's the Chinese word for measles?
麻疹.
Okay. So that is extremely contagious. It's actually one of the most contagious diseases in the world. That doesn't mean it's the most severe, but it is the most contagious. It's one of the easiest diseases for one person to pass to another. So for instance, if somebody is infected with the measles, and maybe they don't even have a rash yet, and that person coughs in an elevator,
Infection.
other people who walk into that elevator could be infected for up to 2 hours later. Because the measles virus just stays floating in the air. It's the droplets are so small that they don't land to the ground. Whereas with COVID, it was larger droplets, and they would, once they come out of the mouth, they start drifting down. And within a couple of minutes, the droplets containing COVID have landed on the ground. Measles virus stays in the air for up to 2 hours, still living. So we have this amazing vaccine. We call it the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. Most people just know it by the letters MMR.
MMR.
And it's been available for just about 60 years now. It is extremely effective. If a child gets 2 doses, one at about 1 year, and I think the second dose is a couple of years later. If they get 2 doses of this MMR vaccine, there is a 97% chance that even if they are exposed to another kid who has measles, that they will not get it. Now, no vaccines are 100% protective. That's just in biology, nothing is 100%. But 97% is extremely good. And even if you're vaccinated, even if you do get infected, if you're one of the 3% who can get infected after the vaccine, you have a much less severe case of measles. And you are much, much less likely to get any of the serious complications that can come from measles. And a lot of people don't understand that measles is miserable to have. But what's really dangerous is that you can get complications from the measles. Kids can get, anybody who gets measles can get pneumonia. They can get a variety of other problems, and they can even get a swelling of the brain that is very often deadly. And once this swelling of the brain starts, there is no way to stop it. Most everybody who gets that particular complication from the measles dies. Now, not everybody who gets measles gets that complication. It's a relatively low number. But why would you risk that for your children? So, and there are some people who simply cannot get a vaccine because their immune system doesn't respond properly. They have various kinds of immune system illnesses that make it impossible for them to get the vaccine. So those children rely on the other children in the classroom, in the community, to keep measles away from the kid who cannot be vaccinated. The MMR vaccine is extremely safe, really extremely safe. And about 15 years ago, a complete liar wrote an article from a very small group of children, and he made up results, and he suggested that the MMR vaccine causes autism or makes it worse. He was wrong. It's a lie. It's been proven many times that he lied. The way he did the study was a lie. He was paid by a lawyer who was planning on suing the manufacturer of the vaccine. And so this was all a scam to create this confusion and then sue the manufacturer and get millions of dollars. That doctor lost his license. He's a complete quack. But interestingly, that British doctor now lives in Texas.
Oh my God.
And still goes around talking about how the MMR vaccine is dangerous. It's a lie. He is a liar. He's been thrown out of the medical profession for lying. And all of this is documented. It's not just, oh, we didn't like what he said. No. His lies are documented.
But he already lost the license. Why he believe again?
In essence, he infected their minds. So many people heard about this and did not hear all the reasons why it's a lie, that there's still a lot of people out there who say, but I heard that maybe that. No, it's a lie.
Yeah, I think the God wants to take off the America. Lying president, lying doctor.
Well, no, these are all part of the same thing. So, I talked about how some of this idea of how all of the politicians are liars and so forth started about 30 years ago by a politician. And this idea that, well, all the authorities, all the experts are all lying to us. That idea is now so deep in many Americans that they don't believe doctors. They don't believe science. They literally they think that science itself is all a lie. They think that experts in every field are all lying. and that you're better off trusting people who know nothing about a particular field than you are trusting the experts. They say that about things, but then if you ask them, well, who do you want building the bridge that you're going to drive over every day to get to work? Do you want it built by a farmer, or a plumber, or a mailman? Or do you want it built by engineers who are actual experts in this? Oh, they want the experts to build their bridge. Yeah. But when it comes to things that other people need, or other people are going to pay for if it's not done right, they think that you should not listen to experts. There's a meme that goes around the internet where somebody actually wrote, science is just a bunch of assholes going around trying to prove things. Yeah, it's true. Science is people trying to prove what's true and what's not. Yeah. That doesn't make them assholes.
Oh.
And I mean, without experts, we would be using very unsafe chemicals in our homes, in our yards, on our crops. The old fertilizers that we used to use 60, 80, 100 years ago are much, much more dangerous than the newer fertilizers. Yeah. But these people would have you believe that, oh no, anything that's been created in the last 40 years is automatically toxic. It's bad for you.
Yeah, Texas people support Trump.
Well, Texas does largely support Trump. This particular outbreak started in a religious community in West Texas.
Yeah. They use religious.
Now, this religion, the Mennonites, is not automatically against medical science. So I don't know exactly why this group in that section, one of the things we learned is that many of the kids in that area are not vaccinated.
Yeah, that's
in fact, if you look at the number, the kids who have been infected, somewhere around 3 to 5% of the kids who are infected were vaccinated. 95 to 97% of the kids who got measles were the ones where we cannot prove they were vaccinated. So it's exactly what we expect. The ones where we can't show that they were vaccinated, they're the ones getting the measles and spreading it to other people. You know, with COVID, a person who gets COVID, typically, on average, before vaccines, a person with COVID would spread COVID to somewhere in the range of 2 to 5 other people, on average. With measles, it's more like 12 to 20. One kid gets measles, that child typically spreads it to somewhere between 12 and 20 other children if nobody's vaccinated. But if 90% of the kids in the school are vaccinated, 1 or 2 other kids might get it and then it dies out because the disease has no place to go because so many of the others are vaccinated. So we get tiny outbreaks, 1, 2, 3 kids. But when you're in a community where there are many people who are not vaccinated, then it spreads like wildfire, and that's exactly what's happened here.
Another dangerous situation.
Incidentally, adults, sometimes the vaccine wears off over 30, 40 years. And so if you live in an area where there's a measles outbreak, you should go to your doctor, and your doctor can either test whether or not you still have an active vaccine in you, or whether you need another vaccine to boost your immunity. Some doctors might say, look, why spend the money and effort and time testing you? You're in a community that has measles. Instead of waiting 3, 4, 5 days for the test to come back and then deciding whether or not to give you an injection, during which time you could catch measles, let's just go ahead and give you a booster shot now.
Yeah.
Be done with it.
Yeah.
And so in many cases, a doctor is going to say, look, let's not even waste time with the test. Let's just give you the booster. Be done with it. There. The booster, the vaccine works so fast as a vaccine that even if a kid has been exposed, let's say one child in the house comes down with measles. Now you know that the brothers and sisters have already been exposed to it, even though they haven't gotten sick yet. If they have not been vaccinated, you can go get them vaccinated now, and it will actually help protect them, because the vaccine starts working in just 1 day or so.
Yes.
You know, if you go to your doctor, especially as an adult, you say, look, I'm worried. Maybe my vaccine is worn off all these years. I'm 60 years old. I'm a little bit worried about this. Your doctor might say, hey, just take the booster and we'll be done with it. And we'll know that you're vaccinated and boosted and you have as much immunity as a child who's gotten 2 of the vaccine doses.
Okay, yeah. We should do that. Do we need to do that?
We could. There's no measles outbreak near here.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's really necessary at this point.
Oh, still in Texas.
No, it's not only in Texas. It's in Texas, New Mexico, and 2 or 3 other states now. But there's no outbreak near us. If there was a big outbreak in Los Angeles, or there was a big outbreak in another town near us, or even in our town, then certainly, yes, I would say let's get this done.